always ask is just give me background on you, so that way people know you are. So like when we splash this out here, you got your own proper introduction that you got. You know what I'm saying?
Right. My name is Nathaniel Swoops Jr. I've been a school teacher for 12 years now in the Chicagoland area. Went to Chicago State University. Graduated with a bachelor's of physical education. I've also been coaching basketball, football, track and field, volleyball, pretty much coaching every sport. So that's just, a small tidbit about me. As far as my business is Swoops Athletic Recruiting, similar to NCSA. I help athletes find scholarships to college. I also help them get eligible. There are athletes that come to me who are not eligible, and they need the steps in order what to do to get eligible for the following season. So athletes send a profile out to me, and I splash that profile out to coaches across America.
Gotcha. That's good. That's good work you do, man. I was fortunate enough to come across you, and it's just kind of like, okay, I gotta always keep that guy around, man. He's a good dude, man.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Some coaches I know it. They're like, they don't ever text me again. So.
I'm like, hey, if I got a spot for your kid, cool. If not, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to keep the list, and I'm like, hey, hold on, such and such need a guard. You know what I'm saying? Just like I always hit you. Like, hey,
right.
they might need something that I don't need at the moment. That's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Never be so high up that you can't help somebody else because you got to where you at because somebody, put a bug in your head at some point.
Right. That's true.
So, next one I got for you is, as far as athletes that you've been helping, how important is the classroom, number one? But number two, like once they, if you fall off the wagon, you fall off the wagon. Nobody's perfect, okay? But sometimes that step to get back is so hard to ask for help. Like, why do you think that's an issue for guys or gals?
So the classroom is so important because there are more schools that stack scholarships than there are more schools that give out full scholarships, as you would know.
Yep.
So a lot of schools stack academic and athletic, and if you have above a 3.0, a lot of times the academic scholarship would be more than what you get athletically. So the academic scholarship will help you pay for your school. So I always tell kids to aim for a 3.0 or better. So if you don't have a 3.0, and let's say your parents, you have two parents, or maybe a single parent makes too much money to get FAFSA, then you're pretty much paying loans and you're paying out of pocket to play a certain sport. And I don't think a lot of students understand that early on, so they kind of like a day's go in the classroom. Because I don't think a 3.0 is hard to maintain, if I had to say, because it was like a low B average.
Yeah.
But there's always what I see kind of come in contact with is if they have a below a 3.0, they have a 2.5, 2.3, they don't consider junior college. And I think a lot of people in the community, as especially in the African American community, need to consider and look at junior college and community college in a positive light. They kind of look at it as like a bad thing, like, oh, well, why would my kid go to junior college? So if they can't get the grade, I would think they should consider junior college. It's a great opportunity to go to junior college. And if they don't really want to go to, even if they have a 3.0 better, they should come into community college. But men and women need to understand that they need a 3.0 better because there are so many schools that stack scholarships. And those academic scholarships are worth more than the athletic scholarship. There's not that many schools that are going to give you a full scholarship. Not everybody's going to get that D1 or that high D2 that's going to give them a full scholarship.
Right. And like a good scenario I got for that is we had a kid, D2 school out in West Virginia offered him. And when they offered him, like as far as like what you're talking about with the stacked scholarships, they had a stacked scholarship situation that was so smooth for him, he didn't decide to take it because he didn't want to move across the country. But as far as like, what they were actually going to offer him, it'd have been, basketball was going to take care of everything. And he didn't even have a 3.0. He had 2.85. Basketball scholarship take care of the majority of everything. And then once his financial aid and everything else hit, he was going to be getting back like $8 to $10 grand. So it was just kind of like, okay, just take care of the classroom, please. And then, they're gonna want you because they want you, number one, for the talent and what you can bring to them. But if you can help that team GPA, or if your GPA is something where they can put that together as far as your academic and scholarship money, just like you just said, it ends up being a great thing for most people, but they don't get it.
Right.
Yep.
It's absolutely true.
So you never know where I think Shim said like 0.1, somebody having a 2.96 or something like that when he was at Dominican was the difference of $12,000 or something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, so I know from Lemoore on, if you have a 3.2, 3.3 or higher, you get, the school's only 18,000. If you have a 3.2 or higher, you get 12. If you have a 3.2 or low, you only get 6.
Gotcha.
So just 2 points, that's $6,000. Then that's, if you get the $12,000 academic scholarship plus a Pell Grant, that's a full scholarship. That's not even, like you said, that's not even talking about the basketball money. The basketball money would just go to your pocket.
Mm-hmm. And, most people don't see that part of it. It's just kind of like, this could be a lot easier for a lot of you guys and gals, but it's like, that information, it's available, but I don't think it gets spread enough, and that's nobody's fault because we're all busy. It's only so much one man, woman, or one group or organization can do. You help the ones you can, but you help that they, go spread your seed a little further so that way more people get into you so that way they know these things.
Exactly.
So, yep. So I'm good with that one. All right. So as far as youth sports, and by youth, what I mean is the whole AAU circuit, just as a whole, guys and gals choosing colleges, going to post-grads, any of that kind of stuff like that. What do you think is the biggest issue with what's going on right now within the sport?
I think the biggest issue is the adults working together. Everybody's trying to have their own program. Everybody's trying to have their own system, and everybody's trying to have their own recruiting service and stuff like that. Yeah. And then once you come in, if you do have a better idea, if you're actually able to help kids better than someone else, it's more of putting you down or, talking down about a person. Yeah. I think if we can all kind of come together as coaches and as parents and work together better to just, in general, help these kids get to college. Because that's what AAU was started in the first place anyway, was to help kids get to college.
Right.
But we have so many new teams, and a lot of the times, because we have so many teams, a lot of these kids are playing in tournaments where there's no college coaches there. You know what I'm saying? So I think as adults, we need to do a better job of coming together to figure it out as one to get these kids to college. It's just so many teams. It's so many, everybody doing their own thing, and we need to do a better job of coming together to get these kids into school.
Mm-hmm. And there was a guy that we wanted him back for our AAU, and what ended up happening was at some point, like, his family had been moving back and forth between Texas and here. So that was one thing. But, he was back. So it was just kind of like, hey, we'd like to have you back. But to your point, he ended up running with another program. Not a bad thing. We see him, we shake his hand, we give him a hard time. That's what we're supposed to do. He's still with us, but he ain't with us. But they have promised them about all of these tournament situations. But then I get the schedule, I'm like, 90% of this is not live, period. Like, what did they tell you? Like, me and you need to have a conversation, not to throw them under the bus, but me and you need to have a conversation about what you're actually trying to get out of this experience, as opposed to just going and playing games.
Yeah, a client of mine complained about, I think when she played in Mother's Day, her kid played in the Mother's Day tournament. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't a live period, and she spent $2,000 hotel and driving down, and she was just like, "Why am I spending all this money if there are going to be no college coaches at the tournament? Mm-hmm. Why are we playing, like you said? Why are we playing a tournament when it's not a live period?"
Yep.
And then so many people try to complain and talk about, well, you're doing this for recruitment, so it's a money grab. Well, what does it look like if an AAU team is playing in a tournament in a non-live period where there's no college coach? What's the point of playing in that tournament? It seems like a money grab, right? Mm-hmm. So I think we need to do a better job of that, not just, I know kids need to get better, but we need to understand, everybody, me too, when the live period is, when coaches are available, and kids should be playing tournaments during those live periods, not just playing just to be playing.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, one advantage I have over that stuff is, like you, I know a bunch of these people. So it's just kind of like, well, no, I didn't see anybody come to O'Hare. I didn't see anybody come through Midway. Like, nobody's here.
Right.
It's just like, you don't want to throw anybody in the bus. But it's like, okay, I'd rather have a conversation with you and y'all so we can actually, try to solve that issue. Because it could be another tournament that they could put you into. Or maybe they got stuck with that because they were committed to a tournament and, for whatever reason, the group couldn't go. That happens sometimes too, but you should never play an entire spring and summer and you haven't, had any actual exposure because that's what it's supposed to be about.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I definitely feel you there. Let's see. All right, so do you think this training culture, just as it is, because there's so much training going on now?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, for sure. I said, do you think this training culture is helping make athletes better as a whole?
I think as a whole it's making athletes better. Like I had made a video about there are way more kids in two-parent homes, and there are way more kids who are sons or daughters of former athletes in the league or playing professionally now more than ever. And I think that's because training is better. Training is better. It's more expensive now.
Yeah.
And that's why, you see a lot more kids in middle class, upper middle class are making it to the professionals more than you see those stories about the kid that came from the neighborhood, single mom, was working multiple jobs. So I think a lot of this training is definitely helping, and kids are getting better. As you can see in the NBA, they're shooting way better, jumping way higher, stuff like that. The only bad thing is it's just getting more and more expensive. And a lot of kids, unless they're as good as LeBron James, they're not going to get free training. So that makes it difficult. But, yeah, I think the new training, all this overtraining, it's definitely helping. Like, kids are getting way better than way up before. They don't even need to play 3 sports as much as they used to stay in shape and, get stronger. When I was in high school, I had to play football to get my strength training for basketball. We had to run cross country to get in shape before basketball. But kids they got personal trainers now, so they're doing it all with a personal trainer.
Yep. All right, so just piggybacking off of that, nutrition is something I want to start to hit on a lot because you got kids, they're working with the trainer, but then they'll go home and I get, hey, you don't buy your own groceries. But some of the college guys, I had to yell at a couple of my guys about this. I got one guy, namely, that when he see this video, he can be like, okay, he was talking about me. Yep, I was. My man decided he just wanted to eat pizza, and I'm like, look, you can't do that. Cannot do that. Please come up with something else. I don't care what it is. Salad, something. But you can't just eat.
Small snack. Nothing heavy right before a game.
Right. But he wanted, man, I had the pizza. What? Or, perfect example, we had a kid, 3 years ago. Any other day, this would never happen. It's probably about 4 minutes to go in the first half. My man's is like, hey, how long you think I'm going to sit here for this rest? Hey, not that long. You cooking right now. You just, need a break for a second. He's like, look, I really need to go to the bathroom. Boy, what's wrong with you? I ate a burrito. When did you eat a burrito? Why are you eating burritos before games?
They eat way too heavy before games.
And that's somebody that he knew better. He never did it again. But it was just kind of like you understand that this is a story now. Like, we got to say something about this so somebody else does not do this foolery that you just did.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the nutrition, as you can see, more and more athletes coming, like Derrick Rose, he came and said all he ate was candy and stuff. And me dealing with elementary, high school kids, all they eat is they eat hot chips.
Yep.
They eat hot chips in the middle of a game, like at halftime they eat hot chips, and before the game they eat hot chips, after the game they eat hot chips. So it definitely needs to be better. Like you can tell a kid they only need to drink water. We're going to bring this, but they eat what they like. And, there definitely needs to be more information on the proper nutrition before games, after games, and during the week before games, So the nutrition, I know for sure in the inner city it's not good. I don't know how it is in different areas, but in the inner city it's not good. Kids are eating Flaming Hots and drinking Gatorades before the game. They should be drinking as much water as possible. Maybe eat some peanuts, bananas, or something, apples. But the nutrition information before they get to college needs to be better. A lot of kids don't get this information until they get to college.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why eventually I want to move into having like small workshops just for kids, completely free, because like you just said, I don't want to make this be a situation where your pocket that you don't control is the reason why you can't achieve. Like that ain't it. Like it's programs and things out there, you know what I'm saying, to help you, and everything ain't got to be, you know, $40,000, you know what I'm saying, for us to help you as well. So that was just one of the things that I wanted to hit on as far as that.
Yeah, but we can definitely teach them how to eat better with the options that they do have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't have to get a McChicken with cheese and extra mayo. They can get a McChicken with a tomato, leaf lettuce, light mayo, and a large one and a small fry. They don't have to get the big fry. They don't have to get the cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't teach them to eat better with the options that they do have in their neighborhood. And we can, you know, like you said, we can break down the action of what is available at home and teach them, you know, better things to eat that is available at home, because they don't control the groceries that come into the house.
Right.
But if their parents give them $10, they do control that small $10 that they get and what they buy at the store with that.
Yep, for sure. All right. So my next one was, and this will be perfect for you. Athletes not calling coaches back.
It's a big thing. One of the biggest issues I have is when I send out emails for players, the coaches will hit them up, and if they're not interested, like, they won't text them back, like they'll leave them, they'll ghost them, and they won't even tell me that the coach hit me, like, yo, I hit your man's up, he ain't text me back. And I'm like, well, why you ain't text the coach back? And then why you didn't tell me that the coach texted you? But yeah, kids, if they're not interested in a school, they need to be more professional and tell the coaches, like, look, right now I'm not interested. But in all honesty, they should be interested in everybody, because you never know what's going to happen. There's a coach right now that was at Amherst, a D3, and now he's at Army, at D1. You don't think he remembers those same kids, 24, 25, 26, that he texted as a D3 coach, and they ghosted him, and they was like, look, don't text me. And now he's a D1 coach, and those same players are probably be like, yo, can you please scout me? Talk to everybody, because these coaches end up in other places. We've had D2 coaches are now head coaches at D1s right now. So kids need to respond to everybody, build a relationship with everybody, even if they're not interested. Just, you know, it's a proper way to do it, to say, you know what, coach, right now I'm not considering your level, but I would definitely love to build a relationship with you.
For sure.
At this point, you know, I'm really kind of only considering maybe D1s and D2s. That does not mean I don't want to talk to you or learn more about your school. I would love to build a relationship with you, but at this point, if a D1 or D2 comes along, that's where I'm looking at right now. But I do want to learn more about your school. Please send me more information about your school. Apply. There's nothing wrong with apply. Don't cost you, don't hurt you. Apply, because you never know what happens. That same coach gets a D1 job, and they're like, look, man, you know, I think you are at this level. You're a great kid, and I want to offer you.
Yep.
You know, so, yeah, they definitely should text back, and they should build relationships with everyone, because the basketball operations at a D2 may be at a D1 as a head assistant or the recruiting coordinator next year.
Right.
I mean, you know how it goes as far as these jobs go. So.
Yeah, most definitely. I just got a call yesterday. Guy, he was at Trinity, you know, and he's moving on to another place. I ain't going to say where he's going yet, because he's still, you know, working out his thing. But it was just cool to see, okay, he's at another spot, but then he reached out because of the Jamboree. He's like, hey, what you got right now? I had to let him know exactly what we got. And I was like, I ain't talked to my mans in a year, because he was looking at doing something different, and now he just went to go do something different, so he moved. But at the same time, us coaches, we talk. So we gonna talk to each other, because I never know what you got. You might be able to, you know, fill a void I got. I might not have needed that in March, but then we get to June, it's like, okay, this kid got hurt. This kid's not coming back. He moved on to a 4-year school early. Like, these are things that rapidly happen, and it's like they take their definites at the moment, and then they move on. Or like you said, they ghost the coach. And it's just kind of like, that's not good either. Then my other example is, I had a kid that was interested in going down south to a D2. Well, the coach that was heavily involved with him, that staff got fired. But I was like, look, you keep in contact with him, he might reach back out to you. I hadn't spoke to the guy or anything like that. But I'm like, just keep going to school, finish your associate's degree. So he finished his associate's degree. The coach reaches out to him. But the only difference was he would have had to make his decision like in 3 days, and that was too short. Outside of that, here you go. You would have had the D2 school, and he liked your conversation so much because of your maturity. Here he was about to fly you out there, and this is what we're about to do. So you would have still had the scholarship anyway, just because of who you are and the way that you presented yourself. Like, that right there by itself goes a very long way.
It does. It definitely does.
Yeah. So next one I got for you is, let's see, goals for young athletes.
Goals for young athletes is to, I think every athlete should start their own YouTube page and keep up with their highlights, with their end of season highlights. And, I tell this all the time. As a coach, I used to not like I don't know why, but I used to not like the parents that would come with the big old camera and record their kids. I'm like, why is this parent here with a tripod in the stands recording their kid? But now as a recruiter, every parent should be doing it. Every parent should be in there with their phones. Every parent should be in there with their tripod. So my goal for athletes is for everybody to start a free, it's free YouTube page. Record your games and make your highlights at the end of each season and send it out to, even if you don't send it out to everyone across the United States, but send it out to all your every school in the state or every school that your state touches. So if it's Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, send it out to those schools. So that's my goal. I think every athlete needs to start a YouTube page. Every athlete needs to keep up with their highlights and make a highlight tape at the end of their high school season and at the end of their AAU season. And parents that go to games, the goals for the parents should not go to a game without recording their kids.
Yep.
Parents need to stop going to games without recording their kids. And vice versa, athletes need to stop playing the games that are not being recorded. They need to be playing the games that are recorded. And if it's not recorded, if their friends are there, girlfriend, boyfriend, they need to be recorded for them. These phones are too nice and too good to not to be just in your pocket while you're playing the game. So that's my goals for some of the athletes coming up.
Definitely. And like you said, that needs to happen a lot more because, you just wasting the technology at that point. You got it, and you need the film. You need the film, but more than anything with recording the film, having somebody record it for you, that film from situation to situation, season to season, is going to show your growth. It's going to show your body growth. It's going to show, how you move, how smart you are, IQ-wise within this play, within this half, what the adjustments were coming out of a timeout. All that stuff is important. You can answer a lot of questions us coaches are going to have for you just by you doing that small part. But, see, that's the things that, it don't get necessarily communicated enough.
Exactly. That's very true. And like I said, they should be playing. The wide receiver from the University of Alabama didn't play. He recorded his practices, and he got a scholarship to Jackson State off his practice videos against the starter. So you need to record everything, jamborees that they're playing or the little open gyms. Record everything, man. You just never know. You never know what's going to happen. The coach can see something that you like and invite you down for a workout, and you get a scholarship just off what you did in practice.
Yep. All right. The ugly one, because we already over there, social media.
Athletes need to understand to keep social media positive. I don't know exactly what everyone does, but they're taking these pictures with the middle fingers up, the cursing and certain music, stuff like that. And that kind of takes me to the music and the highlights. There should be no cussing.
Yep.
In the highlights. Really just the beat. No rap lyrics. Everybody doesn't want to listen to rap. Everybody's not a hip-hop fan. So they should just have the beat, no rap lyrics, no cussing. Social media, no pictures, no inappropriate pictures with your middle finger up. No videos of you cussing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you do have tattoos, but if you do have to know showing that you do have a tattoo, that's something they maybe find out when they meet you. Just keep it as positive. Your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok should look like a LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn profile. It should look especially if you're trying to play college, it should look very, very professional. Very professional as it could. It's not, social media at this time is not for play.
No.
If you're going to make a play profile, you should change the whole name. You know what I'm saying? Understand that. Then let coaches know, look, this is my professional profile, and I do have something this profile. Be open about it, but be professional, and just everybody doesn't need to know. You know what I'm saying? What you're doing at all times. Cussing or whatever you're doing. If you're doing stuff inappropriate, people don't need to know that. Keep that to yourself.
Right.
Because that coach is gonna think they can't trust you. They don't want players that they can't trust and that's going to get in trouble, be suspended. Or even worse, the president is like, well, why would you bring this kid to my school? You know what I'm saying? They don't like that.
Yep.
And that makes the coaches look bad.
Exactly. And that was a big one that you just hit on. That's not even a question. I just got a statement for it. A lot of kids and their families think the coach is untouchable, number one, and they think we're just completely autonomous. Like, okay, the president sees this. You get your scholarship offer, it has to go through all these other parties. Then the athletic director is going to, send that out, and then you're going to sign it. Like, so there's all these other parties involved that you don't even know that they're looking at you. Because, there's some finances involved. You going to school for free. You think they're not going to look into you? Like, it's almost like, you're on your own mini interview each time that you interact with coaches, administrators, and people that are in general just seeing you in public. Yeah, they don't get that.
And there are some diehard alumni that if you do something wrong, they're not going to like it. They're going to go right to the president. They're not going to talk to the coach. They're going to send an email right to the president. Like, look, I don't like the way this kid is making my school look.
Yep.
And that person might have graduated from that school 30 years ago, but they say, this is my school. I'm a prestigious alumni. I give back to the school. I give back money to the school. Why is this kid representing my university?
Mm-hmm. That happens a lot, man. That happens a lot. And it's like, most people don't understand that you'll see that ticker on ESPN and they come across, player was let go, rules detrimental to the team. Everybody's like, what are the rules? Like, no. They got their own set of rules that they established. And you go against them, then you start to get those emails or phone calls or even snail mail where a letter will show up and it'll be a nasty letter aimed at some of the things you might have done in public and you didn't know who's watching. So we always say over here at Elgin, like, hey, you never know who's watching you.
Exactly.
You don't know everybody. And it could be somebody that's famous, non-famous. That part don't matter. But who they know could affect you.
That's very true. There's a lot of non-famous people that are putting a lot of money into the college or the university.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, they're putting a lot of money into the basketball program.
Yep.
So
just so just so they can function, and it's like all of this did just come from coach. Like there's I'm not gonna say there's a pecking order, but at the same time, there's a lot of moving parts here, and we try to educate on that. Like, hey, this is this, and these people will show up and talk to them and things like that, and it just ends up being a good thing going forward because then they get to know like somebody actually cares too if they are doing the right thing.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so my next one for you will be give me your best athletics story or anything regarding something positive that happened with athletics. And it could be like, one of the kids you helped or a few of the kids you helped too.
I think my best one so far, one of the ones I can mention, Jaquan Lawrence at Lemoyne-Owen.
Mm-hmm.
There was two kids, Torrey Mason and Jaquan Lawrence at Lemoyne-Owen. Torrey Mason was a 6'4" kid who was homeless, ended up going to Daly College in the city. And he first went to Hoking in Minnesota.
Yep.
I believe something happened there, so he had to come home. He was homeless, went to Daly College. They ended up leading the NCAA in rebounding for D2. Ended up going to Lemoyne-Owen College, playing really well. Helped the team get to the conference championship. For the first time in a while, they finished 22-10. After the previous season, they was 10-22. And on that same team was Jaquan Lawrence. He was 6'9", Chicago kid. He had no scholarship offers.
Mm-hmm.
Went into the gym. He was just sitting there on the side, just doing layups and dunks, practicing. I introduced myself, asked him who was recruiting. He said nobody. At the time, my uncle was the head coach of Lemoyne-Owen, sent him to my uncle. And, he ended up getting a scholarship. He got Defensive Player of the Year senior year, got Freshman of the Year freshman year, and he just signed a contract to play over in Finland.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the stuff that needs to like come out more because again, you never know who's watching. He didn't think none of it. I'm in the gym that day, and I'm kind of down because ain't nobody recruiting me, even though I got superior height on everybody.
Right.
That stuff happens a lot. Way too much than it should happen. I know that. But even with COVID stuff, too, I get there's some disconnect with COVID.
Well, even before COVID, Chicago's such a big city, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many kids have a growth spurt after high school, go from 6'4" to 6'9".
Mm-hmm.
And after they graduate high school, are 5'11" to 6'4". Mm-hmm. And at the YMCA is killing. You just,
right.
Like, well, who's recruiting you? It's like nobody. I just play here every Saturday. So there's a lot of stories like that, man.
Yeah. All right, so my next one is ultimately, what's your biggest goal for Swopes recruiting?
I would love to do it in a sense like full-time where I didn't have to do another job or work another job. I would love to just do this full-time where I could just do this and travel to jamborees, travel to other states. Of course, I could do it in Chicago, I could do it in Illinois, but I'll get out to New York, get out to LA, Houston, Dallas, Florida. You know what I'm saying? I would love to do this full time. I really love helping people. And just to build, I do have a website, but just to build a better database. And a big goal, I want to start doing end of the year showcases.
Yes.
Some of the major cities around the Midwest, especially in Indianapolis. There's so many in Chicago, but I want to branch out to like Gary, Indiana, Indianapolis. So Kenosha, Wisconsin, some of the closer cities that really doesn't have that much going on as much as Chicago. But my biggest goal is to start running uncommitted showcases and to grow hopefully to grow so big I don't have to do this as a side job, but just do this as a main job.
Yep, we're in the same boat on that one because my thing is, it's so many positive, so many good people that like have big hearts that actually want to, push things forward for athletes or just even for students if they decide to, put the sport down. That we're so busy being inundated with everything else, it's like we can't get to this enough. But this pulls us, and it demands our attention because we always get a message like, hey, can you help? Can you do? And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you no, but I just can't do that right now. Give me 20 minutes and I might be able to pull something together. Plus, I might need to, bring other parties into said situation. So definitely feel you on that because it's not necessarily saying we need it. We needed it 20 years ago. Like right now, it's almost like at a crisis point because you got so many that need help that, they're starting to almost like, walk away from sports in certain situations. Like there was a big kid that I got a hold to late and the coach was like, okay, he wants to play. But see, that was the last time he talked to him. But in that 2 months where they just didn't talk, he didn't do anything wrong. But in them 2 months where they just had a disconnect, given his recruiting wasn't getting the traction that he thought it should get, he didn't even tell coach. He was just kind of like, yeah, I'm done. And they're just kind of like, whoa, you were ranked and all this other kind of stuff. But, that COVID situation where he wasn't getting the attention he thought he could get. Plus, we had some situations like that at Elgin, too, where we had kids that, they wanted to go visit places and the school wanted to pay for them to come visit, but, couldn't allocate those funds to get them on that plane because of what, the country was going through. So it was just a bad situation on all sides for, parties being able to get together to go do stuff. So I definitely want to do stuff like this full time, too, because the more positive messages we can start to change some of the persona online, because a lot of this stuff doesn't get the headway that it needs to get because we're so busy, sharing everything that's funny, when realistically a little more help needs to be put out there.
Exactly, a lot of more positivity and a lot of mental awareness for these athletes and kids.
All right, next one I got is So next one I got is trophy time. So I give a whole segment. It's just you tell everybody where they can find you. Every social media. I'm gonna link everything in the description anyway. But this is just so people get to hear you, like promote you, like just like, hey, straight business. No prices, anything like that. No cell phone numbers.
I don't mind getting out the cell phone number.
Okay, I'm just checking. I want to make sure I don't get you flooded by somebody crazy. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's all good, man.
All right.
I don't mind people reaching out. Yeah. So cell phone number is 773-754-9403. My website is www.swopes. That's one O. It's not Swoops. I know everybody knows Cheryl Swoops. It's Swopes with one O. SwopesAthleticRecruiting.com. I have a Facebook page. I have an Instagram page. I have a Twitter. And also YouTube page. So everything is just Swopes Athletic Recruiting. So again, you can reach out to me on Twitter. You can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. It's Nathaniel Swopes Jr. Again, website is www.swopesathleticrecruiting.com. You can fill out a form there. You can message me anytime. Pretty much respond at any time. So just let me know whatever question that you have, whatever help that you need, or, you know, if you also want to bring me in as far as interview, just to talk with some of your athletes. Detroit Volleyball Club, they have had me twice to talk to their athletes. So if any AAU teams or club teams or travel teams want to bring me in to talk to athletes, please let me know.
Okay, cool. I appreciate you. And if you need anything from me, obviously, you got the number.
Hey, man, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you, man.
No problem, brother. You have a good one.
All right, have a great day.
You too.